So welcome to the launch of the DASA Talent Academy webinar, where we're going to learn about what is the DASA Talent Academy, why we have the DASA Talent Academy, and what skills and competencies are necessary in today's world when looking for talent and reskilling talent, and how the DASA Talent Academy can help. And today, to explain about the DASA Talent Academy, we have three speakers joining us: Sukhbir Jasua, who is the chair at DASA; Andrea Tucker, who is learning and performance strategist at Docebo; and Laura Vasilov, who is the Talent Academy coordinator at DASA. Just a bit of an overview of the agenda today. We're going to talk about DASA. Then we will explain the competency framework, moving on to the Talent Academy with a live preview, and then talk about the DASA membership. And questions and answers will be at the end of the webinar. So please type in your questions as we go along. So I'm going to introduce Sukhbir to talk about DASA. Over to you, Sukhbir.
Yes, thank you very much, Katrina. Appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Glad, honored to be here, and at the same time, very excited about this launch. We have at DASA been working on this for best part of 9-10 months now. And very excited that it's finally come to a moment when we are able to share this with the global audience, with our members, as well as any other interested IT and HR professionals who have an interest in leveraging the Talent Academy as part of your organizational processes, transformation plans, etc. So we'll talk a little bit about that. We have excellent speakers who are going to introduce this academy. I want to spend a couple of minutes just talking about DASA with all of you. For those of you who don't know DASA, DASA stands for DevOps, Agile, and Skills Association. DASA was established in, can we go to the next slide, please? In 2016. So we've been around for some time. Was established to begin with as a certification body in the emerging areas of DevOps, and also addressing Agile and other related topics, which we will get to. And DASA established a portfolio of certifications to help organizations in their transformation journey towards DevOps adoption. And the certification portfolio that DASA developed and established was designed and has been continuously updated to underpin the transformation initiatives that organizations are driving, taking towards adoption of DevOps, building high-performance teams as part of this process. We work with partners, member organizations. We have certified thousands of professionals, tens of thousands of professionals in this past 6 years, 6+ years, and working, as you can see, in 48 countries, where certifications have been held, or where we have our community members who are active and participating across 6 continents around the world. DASA's mandate has evolved. Next slide. In this past, especially in the past 2 years, I must say, where based on the initial successes that DASA achieved based on the launch of the DASA's team competence model, and also encouraged by many of our stakeholders, we decided to enhance our mandate to become an industry body for the growing field of DevOps. As you know, DevOps has been around for some time, but really it is at a point where a lot of organizations are in various stages of adopting, considering, and some of the organizations have achieved a degree of maturity in the adoption. And we bring all of them together using DASA as a platform, bringing practitioners, bringing leaders together to discuss various challenges that the organizations have faced or are facing in getting the best out of DevOps principles. There are four key pillars where DASA's mandate is built around. The first one being guidance, building guidance for the establishment, for the adoption of DASA as part of the transformation journeys that organizations are undertaking. So, adoption of DevOps principles. We work across various dimensions, whether that is really at the program management level, at leadership challenges, at defining the right set of metrics to focus on cultural dimensions, people dimensions, etc. The second area of focus is building and nurturing communities of practitioners, of leaders, of coaches around the world, bringing them together. So the key actors who really play an important role in adoption of DevOps, in such transformation journeys, bringing them together and providing them a platform to work with each other, bring the challenges which they have faced or the solutions which they have worked with or experimented with um, for the benefit of the broader community. The third pillar is talent. Talent, as you can imagine, being a certification body, has been an important part of the DASA's focus since the beginning. But this talent management and talent nurturing has really become a bigger pillar for DASA in the last couple of years. That is also partially why we are here today towards the launch of the DASA Talent Academy. And the various dimensions of talent management, that's also something which we are going to explore today, is an area where DASA is doing a lot of work, continues to do a lot of work. We have announced several initiatives and launches. You might have been part of the launch of DASA's competence model, competence framework. But we are continuing to do more and more work and exploring different dimensions for the benefit of our member organizations, but also for the benefit of professionals and audience at large. The fourth pillar is the recognition. We are focusing on also celebrating successes that organizations, teams, and individuals are creating while adopting the various DevOps principles. We do that in the form of awards that we organize and offer to various initiatives that organizations or individuals have been part of, but also recognizing achievement at the individual level in the form of certifications, in the form of badges, etc. Because we feel that by recognizing that certification, it's not only motivating for the individuals and the teams which are directly involved, but it's also motivating for everybody else who can look at the case studies and the stories behind those achievements and benefit and get motivated as a result of that. So DASA will continue to do work across these four pillars. If you are not involved in DASA and find our mandate interesting, exciting, and relevant for your organization or for you as individual, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and get involved. But without further ado, I would like to move forward and focus on today's agenda, which is very exciting, also at a personal level, based on all my experiences. The launch of the DASA Talent Academy for the benefit of our members is a major step forward in our view. Next slide, please. We are going to bring in our next speaker to talk a little bit about the various dimensions of talent management and people transformation. They are obviously key to a successful transformation that any organization undertakes. All of the work which we are doing, for a large part, is around people, nurturing people's competencies, nurturing people's skills, but also their capabilities, attitude, mindset. All of those elements play a very important role in driving successful transformations and creating the benefits that are promised as a result of DevOps, the successful adoption of DevOps principles. Back to you. We have Andrea to talk to us about the next steps.
Thank you so much, Sukhbir. Let's go ahead and go forward to our next section, please. Perfect. So in this section, I'm going to go through some of the things that Sukhbir alluded to around how important it is that we're thinking about our talent strategy and what's set behind the foundation, let's say, of the DASA Talent Academy, which was the DASA Competency Framework. Next slide, please. So the DASA competency framework falls into two of those pillars that Sukhbir was telling us about, right? The goal of building this framework was to create a guide for talent within a DevOps context, right? What talent do we need? What competencies or skills should they have? And how do we actually get there? Which has been a bit of a black box, I think, for a lot of organizations. Next slide, please. So talent in particular is a challenge right now. In the age of the Great Resignation or the Great Reset or the Great Attrition or whatever it's being called this week, right at this point in time and into the foreseeable future, the reality is that there is fierce competition for resources because there are not enough experienced resources to go around. So we were working with a lot of companies who have very similar goals, the use of technology to automate everything, all right, according to the DevOps core principles, means that every organization who's creating continuous improvement, delivery, and deployment pipelines are using similar technology. And there are only so many people out there right now who know how to use those technologies. So our old build versus buy of our talent strategy, it no longer has the same dynamic as it used to. And this means that organizations, you have to start getting creative and come up with sort of out of the box approaches for how to find resources and grow the talent of your people, right? Develop their skills to be able to retain them over time. Next slide, please. So most organizations, of course, are finding that they don't have the talent that they need in-house to achieve a lot of their goals. Nor do they have the time to train or grow. So most often they're forced to hire. And with that high demand that we just talked about for experienced resources, the best practice, I think, to adopt long-term for success is actually going to be a hybrid approach, right? Balancing between meeting the immediate need at a cost-effective price point with building into the future. And this translates into ideally investing in direct hire contracts in the smallest number of experienced resources that your organization needs to deploy that MVP, that service or solution, combined with inexperienced resources that need to be grown. Now, this might mean dipping into your current resources as well, right? Your current talent pool and reskilling them or bringing on inexperienced people with strong capabilities around learning and growth. Next slide, please. So if we want to talk building talent, which really there is no choice, we have to think as well about our internal hires or our hires who aren't necessarily experienced with DevOps, who are facing a lot of challenges. When we think about this process that they're going to be going through, they haven't worked in a DevOps environment before in the context of a transformation. There's a lot of change happening. And with the competency framework, we wanted something that would support these transformation journeys, because most transformations fail. It's just a reality. And it's not necessarily because they built the wrong thing or did the wrong thing. It's because organizational change is hard, is really hard, and support is needed for that to be successful. And in a DevOps transformation, it necessarily means changes in team structures towards cross-functional autonomous teams. So as we moved from these sort of siloed operational teams to multi-skilled teams, the way we think about recruitment, onboarding, personal growth, team growth, and eventually offboarding all also have to take on a new structure to support these blended teams. Right? And support is required not just at the strategic and decision-making level, but people's roles are changing. The way that they work is changing. And this is one of those critical moments where people need information and learning. They need to feel supported, but actually be supported in order to be successful. And I think this is one of those linchpin moments where a lot of companies fall short in their transformation journeys. Next slide, please. And I don't think it's surprising that this is a moment where a lot of transformation journeys fail, because I think it's one of the biggest black boxes that are out there when we actually think about what does this support look like, what is the support that they need, and this is what we wanted to tackle when we built the competency framework. Which job areas, which roles, and which competencies or capabilities to build out in your teams for success. So these were the questions that led to the creation of the framework. Next slide, please. So the structure of the framework is built based on research in educational sciences, including professional didactics, as well as experience working with human resource and talent professionals. The content of the framework was established with the input of experts in DevOps transformation, industry leaders, and engineers with extensive experience in DevOps environments. And the working group that built this focused on this framework, leveraged their own experience, and then also benchmarking against top organizations who have successfully implemented DevOps versus those who were not as successful. Next slide, please. So what is it exactly, right? We've been talking about it for a while. So what is it? A competency framework is a tool that defines the knowledge, skills, attitudes, and attributes needed by people so that they can act within a particular situation. In this case, the situation is their day-to-day job within the context of a DevOps environment. And this framework is made up of 3 primary areas, all of which have been mapped to indicators, or the theory, behaviors, traits, right? Theory, skills, and attitudes, which allow us to assess mastery in a given competency area. Next slide, please. So the first area is built on DevOps principles and values: customer-centric action, creating with the end in mind, end-to-end responsibility, cross-functional autonomous teams, continuous improvement, and automate everything you can. So this might not seem like a competency from the get-go, but there are very specific actions and indicators that can be taken to achieve this and to achieve it at good levels of mastery. So we wanted to make sure that this was something that was highlighted in the competency framework, as it is so important to the context of a DevOps transformation. Next slide, please. The next area is our core competency families and the competencies which make them up. So we hear a lot of talk about what we call T-shaped professionals. These areas allow our people to work across these new multidisciplinary teams. This includes things like self-regulation, or one's own ability to manage and coordinate their own activity, critical thinking, collaboration, leadership, and business management capabilities. Now, the competency framework goes deeper into each of these areas and identifies a number of sub-competencies related to them. For example, within critical thinking, we have something like problem solving, risk analysis, and sense making. Within collaboration, we've included communication, teamwork and dynamics, coordination, and flow optimization. So the definitions and indicators you have in each of these areas, it's not like the generalized material that you can find through a quick Google search, right? They're really focused on how these competencies translate into a DevOps environment. Next slide, please. Finally, our last area is technical capabilities. There are a lot of technical capabilities, but this forms the bottom of that T-shaped profile that I was talking about. These are the capabilities that extend deeply into the area of expertise of the person holding the role. So I'm not going to enumerate them here. I think what's interesting for you to see is how we've adapted the indicators within the technical capabilities section, right? We cover things like common technologies, characteristics to look for, and skills or abilities that are required for performance in these areas. Next slide, please. So from there, these competencies have been mapped to 16 job roles across DevOps engineering, leadership, product, and flow facilitation and governance. Our expert practitioners then rated the expected level for each role in each competency. So on the screen, you see a sample of what this may look like. So the framework itself is quite extensive and has a number of different applications that I alluded to earlier: recruitment, onboarding, employee engagement, and of course, skills and career development. But we didn't want to just stop at the framework, right? I think it's a wonderful diagnostic tool to give visibility into your teams or help you build out your talent strategy. But we wanted to take it a step up and go into some of the most difficult parts of a transformation, supporting change within an organization by supporting the people that make up your organization. So this means a diagnostic tool for individuals and teams so that they can build an understanding of their current state versus their desired state. And this helps establish a clear path and identify areas of growth. But then so what, right? So we identify those areas for growth. So what? What do we do next? Next slide, please. So what next? So first, go check out the competency framework, where you'll find information about every single competency with definitions, indicators, and expected levels. Then check out the DASA Talent Academy, because that's where you're going to find the so what. The Talent Academy leverages the competency framework that we've put together, the structure that you've seen here, to help people who are looking to further their careers by pursuing, different job areas within the DevOps context or upskilling themselves within their current roles. So the Talent Academy can be used to help train new but promising hires because, again, let's be real here. It used to be cheaper to hire the talent, and now we're better off building and growing our people for 100 different reasons. Regardless of what industry or market you're in, organizations are competing to attract, hire, and retain and develop talent from the same pool of resources. And so the DASA Talent Academy, I think, is going to be a key resource in helping you guys find the so what. So you've identified your skills gaps, now what? And I want to pass it over to Laura now so that she can walk us through what the so what looks like.
Thank you, Andrea, and hi to everybody. It's a pleasure to be here and present the actual platform and hub itself, which leverages the competency framework, DASA Talent Academy. So Talent Academy is designed to create a continuous learning culture for members. It is offering building blocks to manage skill development programs, which include tools and resources in every step of the journey to develop the skills of your team to move it to the next level. In the next couple of minutes, I will dive into every single block and discuss the details about it. Talent Academy is a continuous learning platform designed for Agile and DevOps teams. Learning assets are curated and added on a monthly basis, and the learners engage in an open-ended learning discovery. The admin lead has full control on managing the learning journey of their team and has access to analytics for performance management. And all of this is supported by an enhanced learning experience that nurtures a continuous learning culture and solidifies employees' engagement and loyalty. The courses on Talent Academy are based on the competency areas identified in the competency framework that Andrea has just spoken about. Technical capabilities, DevOps principles, and core competencies. More concretely, self-regulation, critical thinking, collaboration, DevOps leadership, and DevOps business management capabilities. And the learning journeys are specifically tailored to the most important DevOps roles. And based on the roles and responsibilities, the journey will be different in complexity levels across the job roles. Altogether, DASA offers hundreds of learning journeys designed to broaden the interest and experience of professionals. And these short bursts of micro-learning drive continuous learning and are designed to reskilling, upskilling, and next-skilling employees. As Andrea mentioned, the competency framework is a tool to give you insight in what you need as a DevOps organization in the field of performance and talent management. And Talent Academy will serve as the platform through which organization will be able to undertake individual, team, and career path assessment identified for key DevOps roles. The learners of Talent Academy will also get access to the DASA Skills Passport, which stores all learning activities performed on the platform. It will allow professionals to demonstrate their proficiency in building the skills needed for their job through the DASA digital badges and certificates. And on the next slide over here, you can see a glimpse on the badges that, besides keeping the learners engaged and motivated, will serve as a proof of achievement for completing courses and journey on Talent Academy. A good strategy for career pathing is now crucial as a solid base for continuous improvement, and it is the organization's task to keep the knowledge levels on a competitive level. Talent Academy helps in sustaining career paths for key DevOps roles, including extended learning opportunities and certification programs. The role-based continuous learning portfolio and content library of Talent Academy consists of hundreds of learning journeys with more than 400 learning tracks and thousands of hours of expert-curated content, all based on the competency framework. And the quality of the content for the learning tracks is achieved through a vigorous process of content curation, which involves aggregation, filtration, organization, contextualization, and maintenance of the data content sources. Each learning track is meant to tackle a specific learning purpose through interactive learning interventions, key takeaways, and suggested next steps. And all the content is reviewed by lead experts, professionals from DevOps field. And now let's get to the very interesting part and very exciting part of today, the live preview of the platform. I would like to show you the platform from two sides, the member admin portal and the learner portal. So for that, give me 1 second to share my screen. All right, can you confirm that you can see my screen, please?
Looks good.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So now I'm logged in as a learner. The platform has a very responsive design. The user can access the platform through any devices they choose, desktop, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. The interface is very user-friendly, you will see, and all of the activities are very intuitive to perform. On the main dashboard of the portal, the learner sees all of the courses that he or she has been assigned to. So you can see the courses that me as a learner I have been assigned to. If the course is scheduled for a particular future date, it will appear under the Coming Up section. For instance, how I have one course here for scheduled for the next couple of days. And once the learner completes a course, it will appear under the completed section. Let's now dive into a course and have a glimpse on the learning experience itself. For that, I will choose the leadership course. So on every course, the learner can see the course materials or the content. In the About section, I can see all of the other participants that have been assigned to this course. And also I can download my certificate of participation when available. There's also a discussion tab, which allows me to engage into meaningful conversation with my peer colleagues, and such as leaving comments, replies to other people as well. Back to the course material and course content. The course is divided into learning tracks. For example, the leadership course is divided into the Vision and Inspire, Lead by Example, Leading by Influence, Accountability Coaching for Manager, and Empower and Motivate learning tracks. Each learning track contains a short description of the track and the objectives that are going to be addressed in it. The learning track, So the learning track is divided into sections, usually 3 to 5. And underneath each section, the learner can see the learning interventions. The icons over here display the type of the content, if it's an optional or a mandatory item, and also if the item has been marked as complete or not yet. And the learning interventions themselves usually consist of articles, videos, blogs, infographics, podcasts, and assessments. Now let's go ahead and start the learning journey. I can start the learning journey by pressing on this button or by choosing directly the learning intervention that I want to go to. So once I press on this, you can see the so-called in-class view. Each intervention contains a short description, and we can access it by pressing the green button Open Link. As a learner, I go through the content, and once I watch the video or read the article, I can rate the item, mark it as complete, and move to the next item. And I follow the exact same procedure. I can read about the learning intervention, open the external link and read the content. And once I'm done with it, I can rate it, mark it as complete, and move to the next one. On the right-hand side over here, you can also see the navigation bar, which allows me to navigate easily through the learning tracks, through the sections, and directly to any learning intervention I would like to go through. This is an example of an assessment. Also, an important thing to note is that the learners can take notes throughout the course. I should relearn this, for example. I can save the notes, and then I can come back to them, edit them, delete them, and download the notes as well. All right, the learner can also get access to his or her messages, of course, and interact with all the other participants and instructor. And under the account settings, the learner can change his or her name, change the password, add a profile picture, and as well customize the notification preferences, such as enabling or disabling replies to posts, comments that mention me, private messages, activity in group. All right, so that was this was the most important things that I wanted to share with you on the Learner portal. But now let's move to the admin portal to see how the course and catalog management is done through the admin side. So you can see on my screen right now, I'm logged in as an admin. And on the main page, I can browse through the DASA catalog and see all of the courses available. I can filter them based on type, based on level, on language, and also based on domain. If I click on each course, I can read more specifications about it. But the main activity actually happens in the dashboard, where the admin can see displayed the most important information, such as activity feed, the instructor-led courses, but most of them are self-paced courses, direct messages, and exam sessions if there are any scheduled. And now let's go quickly to create a new course. I wanted to show you how easy and how intuitive is to this can be done. We select from the table a course. Let's suppose Jira project management tool. We press on next. We see the course name, we can change it, we can select the time zone and available seats, meaning how many employees I want to assign to this course. Afterwards, I get access to the learning content and I can look through it. And make any changes if necessary. Then I can publish the course. The organization can also customize the content that's in the courses. For example, I can just add a new learning track. I can add another section, and eventually under each section, I can add extra material from my library. And also, as an admin, I have access to analytics that would help me with the performance management. I do have data on orders and returns, courses, as well as learner progress. And last but not least, from the interesting things that I wanted to show is that under the company settings, as an admin, I can change the learner portal branding and basically include any logo, the logo of my company for desktop, mobile, choose a landing page image, and as well choose the accent color that I want. Plus add social media links that would basically be displayed on the bottom of the learner portal. All right, so that was all for the live preview. Let me get back and stop my screen. Now I suppose it's back to Katrina.
Oh, we need the, hang on a minute, slides. Let's add those in. Okay, so thank you, Laura, for the overview of the DASA Talent Academy. And thank you, everyone. We're going to move just onto the membership, and we're going to invite Sukhbir to explain how the DASA membership works.
Thank you very much. Excellent inputs, presentations from both Laura and from Andrea. Appreciate it. And I hope you are excited about the preview. If you would like to see more, you are more than welcome to get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to organize a deeper dive. But before we do that, let me talk a little bit about the membership. A lot of the work which DASA is doing is driven by our members and also sort of built for the members, right? So DASA embarked on the membership scheme and structure a few months ago, and we are excited about the responses we are getting from various organizations who are getting engaged and are taking on the membership. Next slide, please. There are two types of memberships that DASA has built. The one is the enterprise membership. The enterprise membership consists of various tiers, as you can see, and is designed for organizations which are primarily interested in adopting the DevOps principles, are embarking on such initiatives, whether that is taking a long-term view, building high-performance teams for specific applications or domains, or are further along in their thinking and journey and are going through this transformation in a bigger fashion. We offer, as you saw earlier in the webinar, we offer support on multiple different fronts, including on the guidance front through various products and services that DASA offers to our members as part of their transformation initiatives, as well as offering a community, a platform where leaders and practitioners within the organization can meet and talk to others in sessions which are planned and organized by DASA on key topics. The decision on which topics we work on, focus on, etc., are also driven by members. The second types of membership is for service provider members. These are organizations which are providers, either in the form of software or in the form of services, which include consulting or other services. And we provide them support in terms of highlighting their offering to not only our enterprise members, but also creating meaningful conversations for them, with them. There are many different benefits and features which are offered to both the enterprise and service provider members. And if you would have an interest, please don't hesitate to go to the DASA website or get in touch with us, and we will be happy to walk you through the various benefits that you can avail as a result of the membership, DASA membership that we offer. Just as a side note, the Talent Academy is also available to all our members. It's an integral part of the offering that DASA provides, and there are specific number of user licenses, seats which are offered as part of each membership tier, and you can avail of the benefit of the Talent Academy for your employees, for users within your organization as part of your membership with DASA. So with that, I would like to, I I think we are going to open up the floor for questions, and I would hand it back to Katrina. She's been monitoring the questions that are coming in, and I hope there has been some engagement, Katrina.
There has. And thank you, all of you, for explaining the DASA Talent Academy. And we're very much looking forward to the launch of it. We've had some questions coming in. The first question is, why is it important to have the hybrid model for the Talent Academy? And I think, Andrea, you can answer that. That's from Jan in Stockholm.
Yeah, so a hybrid model for talent, we're really thinking about how we're sourcing our talent and how we're planning for the long term. If one of the issues that we're facing is that we don't have the talent internally, and according to a recent study by PwC with CEOs, about 50% of CEOs believe that talent shortage is keeping them from being innovative. So one of the issues is that they're investing in things like R&D and not thinking about how investing in their people is actually going to be better for them in the long term, because that investment in R&D is not actually correlated to better business results, actually, which I found surprising. But having this hybrid model where we're thinking about investing in people, hiring people that we need to get out the minimum viable product, while investing in talent that has the potential for growth and is willing to come in and learn, is going to set you up for success in the long term. It can get you to what you need in the short term, while also setting you up for success in the long term while you build out your capabilities. And the best way to do that right now is through that hybrid approach, by hiring people who can get that MVP out, while also using them to mentor and using resources like the DASA Talent Academy to upskill the people who you've brought on to future-proof your team.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrea. And another question from Scott in London. Laura, I think this is for you. We've had an overview of the platform. Can you give some other examples of different types of courses other than the leadership one that you showed on the Talent Academy, and also the duration of the courses?
Yeah, of course. So as I mentioned before, Talent Academy offers a very wide range of courses aimed to upskill and reskill the professionals, especially on the core competencies that have been identified in the competency framework. So we've got courses on self-regulation, collaboration, critical thinking, DevOps values, DevOps business management, and we also do have a lot of various programs on technical capabilities, such as SRE, DevSecOps, Introduction to Cloud, Jira as a project management and defect tool, DevOps on Cloud, code quality, and many more. So we do have a big list. If you'd like to know all of the courses, don't hesitate to contact me, and I can get back to you with a full list, basically.
Laura, there was also the question about the duration, I think so.
Yes, so the duration of the courses. We try to keep the courses of around 2 to 3 hours. We do have a couple of courses on technical capabilities, which are a bit longer, but the approximate hours of the course is roughly 2.5 hours.
Okay, wonderful. And you can customize the courses and add your own content for sharing amongst your peers and other companies. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think just to add on that, yes, the customization or customizability is a big part of the capabilities which the DASA Talent Academy focuses on. So, and I think that is definitely worth exploring more in terms of, this is not a one size fit all solution, right? It is really designed as something which you adopt, but then you sort of make it on your own based on your own transformation, scope, process, journey, the way you are designing and defining roles within your own organization. So the competence framework that DASA offers defines specific roles. I think Andrea mentioned 16 roles, which are basically representing 16 role, in a way, categories, right? But these roles are called differently in different organizations. So what we encourage organizations to do is to map the roles and responsibilities, which DASA competence framework puts forward, to their own roles internally, and then actually redefine some of the learning journeys the way they have been currently created. And that's actually part of the process which we go through in any deployment for our member organizations, right? It's an essential part also, because otherwise you start to get a mismatch of the actual existing roles, the way organizations have defined them internally, versus how they are coming sort of pre-packaged. That pre-packaging thing doesn't make sense, and that's why the capability of the Talent Academy to be able to customize this specific to organizations' needs. It's a very straightforward process to do that, and can be done both by the customer representatives, right, the administrators. With an hour of overview training, they can actually do most of it themselves, or can be supported also by DASA content team.
So Sukhbir, I think you've probably heard me say this like 1,000 times at this point, but content is king and context is his queen, right? So we're providing that base content, but giving the flexibility to organization to put in their own context. So for example, in a training about JIRA or about leadership, right? Let's take Laura's example here. We give you the basics of what good leadership looks like in a DevOps organization, and then you fill in the context with information about the leadership model you have in your organization.
Correct. Yeah. Well said. Thank you.
Great. We have another question for Sukhbir. Why would I implement the Talent Academy in my organization? How is it different from other training providers that are out there?
Well, I mean, first of all, I think the important thing to note is that the Talent Academy is built on a competence framework, or a DevOps competence framework, right, which is specifically developed by experts coming with a lot of experience, actually being part of such transformations, right? So the whole definition of, as Andrea has described, the whole definition of job roles or job families, linking to requisite skills, capabilities, attitudinal, behavioral dimensions, etc. It's very important, right? And we have, as DASA, we have not seen, similar frameworks, etc. I'm sure there are other skills frameworks which can be referred to, but the work which DASA is doing is very specific to DevOps transformations, DevOps principles, DevOps adoption. And so that's, I think, one context. So the Talent Academy was a natural step to enable organizations which are leveraging the DASA competence framework to also start to leverage the content, or the relevant content, as part of their core, HR, talent management, talent nurturing processes, right? So we do follow the T-shaped model approach, which means it includes various types of skills, capabilities, including leadership, interpersonal skills, but also technical capabilities. So now DASA Talent Academy doesn't go into certification types of programs or content which leads to certifications. So if organizations are looking for very specific technology, deep training, which sort of is linked to one vendor or the other, or one platform or the other, and wants to get their employees certified, then we would highly recommend that you work with specialized providers out there. But DASA is basically providing a overarching framework which can be very quickly deployed for key talent management processes as part of any transformation, whether that's large scale upskilling or reskilling, but also just processes like onboarding of new employees. You want to make sure that everybody has the same baseline while joining a new team. That's something, those are the types of things or aspects of talent mobility, as an example, right? I mean, building, Andrea talked about that. Internal talent mobility is a massive opportunity for most organizations. And so as part of the talent mobility, depending on which career your colleagues, your employees are coming from, and which career they want to build or want to move towards, just enabling that can be done relatively easily. And it's straightforward, it's easy to curate, to deploy, you can customize it. So those are some of the advantages and benefits, and built by experts, right, and continuously updated. So all of those dimensions.
Okay. And what is the process to implement the Talent Academy, and when will it be available? Sukhbir.
Well, the Talent Academy is available today, as Laura showed to you. It's been piloted with a few early adopters, member organizations who have been already leveraging this for their employees. In fact, as I mentioned, as part of onboarding, as an example, we have a couple of member organizations who've deployed it already as part of all new onboarding of people joining DevOps teams, right, or high performance teams. So whether that's full stack engineers, developers, etc. So they have established learning journeys as part of new employee onboarding, and they have already deployed that. That deployment is not that complicated. It's simply a matter of mapping, as I earlier mentioned, between what the roles are, the way the learning journeys have been constructed by DASA versus how organization has defined those roles, and then making some of those changes and modifications. But that's really relatively straightforward exercise, that mapping exercise. And so I think the deployment itself is a process where members would work with DASA's or member success managers, and would talk about their key initiatives, and the success managers will then enable them to be able to start deploying them relatively easily. So it is a matter of hours, days, and maybe in more complex scenarios, weeks, but certainly not more than that.
Great. Okay. And one more question to Laura. How often are these courses updated on the Talent Academy? And that's from Anna in Germany.
Yeah, some new courses and content is uploaded on Talent Academy on bi-weekly basis. And for the already existing courses, we are monitoring them, and the content team is updating them based on engagement data and learner feedback. We also closely collaborate with lead experts around every course, and they help us to review, revise, improve the course content and structure as well.
Great. Thank you, Laura. Okay, thank you everyone for all those questions. We are at the end of the hour, and any more questions, please do contact Laura at devopsagileskills.org, or go to our website www.devopsagileskills.org. And thank you everyone for participating and being part of this webinar today.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Katrina.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.